Welcome to the world of Nick Veazey, the inside-out world, where you can discover the hidden secrets of the X-ray. Please come in. So, X-ray is dangerous, yeah? There's radiation emitted when I turn the X-ray machine on. And in my studio, I have a big heavy door that we close. And when the door closes, it is safe inside to emit the radiation. But I and everybody else that's alive is on the outside. This is the safe side. This is the dangerous side. The exhibition starts with the very first day of X-ray. On the wall are the shoes I wore on the first day that I was ever use an X-ray machine. And if you look very, very carefully, on the right-hand shoe, you can see in the sole a paperclip that was embedded into the rubber sole of the sneakers. Here we have a car from the 1930s, from the time of the gangsters in America. And if you think about the design of this car, here is the engine, here. And above the engine is nothing, just space. So if we move from 1930s to the 1960s, there is no space. Yeah? You can see exactly every component in the engine, the radiator, the pistons, the gearbox, the wheels, the suspension, the brakes, and right the way through, even the springing in the seats. There's just so much information. You can see rust. Yeah, the car, it's 50 years old, yeah, it's rusty. But you can see how the design and technology has moved on. But with the smartphone, let's all face it, we're obsessed with technology and we all use our phones. We couldn't live without our phones. So I wanted to make a statement about how fast technology is moving. Around there, what I've done is I've X-rayed all the analog things, the functions that a phone has. So you see a camera, a television, DJ decks, a typewriter, a globe for GPS positioning, a video recorder, a Rolodex for contents, a radio, an old telephone, a movie camera, a pen. All these, your phone in your hand does all these things. But that's old school technology. Robots, this particular part of the exhibition, so I've taken a robot, but I've positioned it in very human positions. Crucifixion, praying, going to the toilet, running. They're all human positions. And then my final statement with robots really is that will robots dictate the way that we live our lives? So as you can sense, this room has a completely different atmosphere. It's more intimate. It's obviously much brighter. And here we're working with nature. Nature is my favourite subject. What I like about nature is that nature controls us. We don't control nature. Here we have hibiscus with the seed getting ready to drop to generate the next plant. The way a honeysuckle opens up its smell to attract bees to pollinate it. The iris, the introduction of really sort of beautiful colouring gives it a different dimension. You can see a new bud coming. I think they're really beautiful. At the end of the room on the screen is a video I've recently made, which is worth studying, around nature. The word in English is ethereal. It means that it's almost ghostly. Okay then, so we've left the garden and we're now in the human section where we start to think about the human form. As I said before, I can't X-ray human people, so these pictures are quite difficult to achieve. I use a skeleton, which is in fact a dead body, but bizarrely, using a dead body brings my pictures to life. So in this section, you'll see a variety of different types of people, but the interesting thing is that I use the same skeleton, and that is a good metaphor for my work, because inside Men, women, old, young, whatever race, we're all the same. We move into a particular favourite area for me. Even though I'm a 55 fat middle-aged man, I'm interested in fashion. Yeah? But not in your normal way. Because my x-rays of fashion are just about the clothes, not about all the glamour of fashion, it's just about the clothes. So this beautiful dress is like it's floating in space, but you see the layers and the textures of the garment. From $1,000 shoes to $5 underpants. Still beautiful in x-ray. It doesn't have to be expensive. X-ray is quite honest. If it's well made, it can be cheap but still look good. It's just the way the garment comes together and the texture. And this is a favourite picture of mine because it's a very simple garment, but it still looks elegant. So we started the exhibition in a recreation of my X-ray chamber in my permanent studio in England, and we finished the exhibition in a recreation of my mobile X-ray studio. I'm flattered that Mimi has gone to all the trouble to recreate this, and this mobile X-ray facility is unique. It is the only one in the world. In fact, I was told it is impossible to build, but we have done it. And the video in the corner is made by the museum, the Victoria and Albert Museum, which explains the collaboration and the project. So please have a look at that before you leave. The images you see in this room are very new, and I'm excited about them. And finally, the last image you see before you leave is an X-ray of a dress designed by the designer Balenciaga, fashion designer Balenciaga, who is described as the master by other fashion designers. And that dress was worn by the actress Ava Gardner, who was a very glamorous movie star who lived in Hollywood. Balenciaga worked in Paris, and she flew from Los Angeles to Paris 6 times to be measured for that dress. And she only wore it once. If you come to my show at the Seoul Art Centre, you'll see X-rays of a variety of things, from everyday objects, from nature to the human form with celebrities and fashion. There's something for everything. Cars, plants, buses, flowers. It's cool. You see the world from the inside out.
과학과 예술의 융합으로 탄생한 엑스레이 아트. 우리가 볼 수 없었던 그들의 실체.
Without things that the human eye sees, which is the reflected light of the surface, it shows an object from the inside out.
어둠 속에서 빛나는 본질. 신비하고 아름다운 엑스레이 세계로 여러분을 초대합니다. 엑스레이맨 닉 베세이전.